Live from Sacramento City Hall, it's the SacVibes podcast.
It is April 2nd, 2025. I'm Jessica from the Community Engagement Team, and you're chilling with SacVibes, the local government podcast where we educate, engage, and empower residents from the city of Sacramento.
And I'm your co-host, Lynette. Hey, everybody.
And I'm Greg, the other co-host. And we have a new team member joining us today, Alicia Scholer, our language access coordinator.
Hey, everybody. I'm Alicia. Nice to meet you.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome to the team.
So how's everybody doing? How was your weekend? How was the week so far?
Weekend was good. I spent the weekend in Idaho.
Oh.
Horseback riding in the mountains in the snow with my daughter. And then we also hit up the hot springs.
Oh,
so
nice.
It was super cool.
What city is that in, all of that?
So there's hot springs all throughout Idaho, but we went to Idaho City, which is about an hour outside of Boise. So we flew into Boise.
Okay.
So it was super cool and fun.
I drove down a little part of Idaho on the way to Yosemite once when I was little. That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't drive, but you know.
If you like outdoors activities, it's like a really cool place.
Okay.
Had some good prime rib.
Oh, wow.
So they're known for, of course, beef and potatoes. So
Okay. Idaho potatoes. Okay.
yeah. So
You would
it's good.
think that there's not that much room to grow potatoes there, but I guess there is.
It's nothing but room. It's
Nothing but room.
like
Nobody there.
it's not populated. It's not a highly populated city or state, I would say.
Okay.
So what'd you guys do this weekend? I know the CE team was out on the scene.
Yes, we were. We were at the Eid Festival at Cal Expo, and there was a lot of people there.
40,000.
So for
around
those-
40,000.
For those that don't know, what is the Eid?
Eid
Festival?
is an event that marks the end of Ramadan, which is a Muslim Islamic event. They celebrate the end of the fasting and what have you. So the weather was not cooperative. Danielle and I were there in the morning, and we were there, and I was like, I don't know if this is supposed to be windy later, so I'm gonna go get the weights from the office. And then she's like, okay. And then when I got to the office, when I got here, I was like, I can't find the weights, Danielle. You need them. We need them. It already turned over twice. It's like the canopy flew away twice.
Oh, wow.
And people had to help Danielle to get all the stuff back. Things were flying all over the place. She texted me again, can you give me a jacket too? It's like, okay, let me go home and get dumbbells and duct tape. And I got a jacket for Danielle, and then drove back, and she was just like huddled, like holding the tent down with all her strength. She tied it to the cart flew away.
I love that we go above and beyond for community.
Yeah. And then the last time we were holding it, my hand got clipped. And I was like, okay, we got to go home. This is it. And that's when I texted everybody, like, we can't do this no more. This is too much. And then the Sada came by. And
Please don't get hurt. We're broke. We can't have any workers' comp claims. We can't do workers' comp claims.
No skin, no blood. So we're good. Sada said, yeah, we're going to go inside. It's like, oh, okay, good. So after we went inside, we set up in there, and it was great.
Yeah, and she provided us with traditional Pakistani dresses. So we felt very included and part of the celebration.
I missed out on that. I saw the
cool.
cute outfits. I was like, man.
Yeah. And was that jewelry your mom's?
Yeah, that was from one of my friends' mother-in-laws. Brought them back for me from India. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't get to add any of that stuff, but I did have my Barong Tagalog that looked a lot similar to a lot of the clothing that they were giving out for men. So people were coming up to me, assalamu alaikum. I'm like, good morning. I didn't know what to say.
So like salam.
Yeah, I know. Next time I'll say that. But I didn't want them to be like, if they start talking to me more, I'm like, How about you?
That's good.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It was windy. Got to fetch a lot of things that flew. So yeah, it was good.
Okay.
And it was a long weekend too, so we had Monday off for Cesar Chavez Day.
Oh, that's right.
Shout out to Cesar Chavez.
Shout out. Let me get one of those. Cool. Well, we got some council updates, Lynette. Do you have that for us?
Yeah. So we've been having council 2:00 and 5:00 council meetings on Tuesday. So the 2:00 meeting consisted of the finance department, HR, and the Office of Cannabis presenting kind of what it is that they do for the city. As you all know, we are in the middle of budget times, and so a part of the budget process is the mayor and the city council gets an opportunity, as well as the public, to hear from each department exactly what it is that they do. Because there's going to be some difficult choices that have to be made. We have about a $44 million deficit, and unlike the state and the federal government, our budget has to be balanced, so we can't carry over a balance, or a deficit. So each department was doing really, really well, just kind of presenting what it is that they do and the impact that they have. And then the 5 o'clock meeting, super exciting with our colleagues, Tina Lee Voigt and John Adair from the Office of Nighttime Economy. And they went to council for approval of a new limited entertainment permit.
Oh, I remember that thing.
And that is super cool because up until now, either you were a full-fledged club, or if you were a restaurant and you wanted to have a live band, every now and then you'd have to go through the same
process.
Permitting process,
Right.
pay the same fees that like a large club would have to do. And we realized that just wasn't fair. So this is really for, like I said, smaller venues between 50 people and 299 venues. It could be a restaurant that wants to do a live band once a month or, once a week. And so, super exciting. Music has to stop at 10 o'clock during the week and 11 o'clock on the weekends.
That's fair.
But I think it really will help. We have a lot of our nighttime businesses and venues in the central city. And with this new limited entertainment permit, it will provide an opportunity for folks outside of the city, central city, to capitalize on just some entertainment and activity.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you don't happen to know when it starts. You.
See, there he goes with these questions.
Told you.
They just went to council, sir. Jeez. So
I want to tell everybody about it.
you can tell. Well, the second piece is that they need to figure out what the fees will be.
Oh, okay.
So they will have to come back to council in about 30 days with the plan for what the fees will be.
Okay.
So once that is done, we'll be ready to go. So hopefully by the summer.
Nice. Just
Yeah.
in time for summer then?
Absolutely.
That's exciting.
And then the last was probably super exciting in Old Sacramento. Went to council for approval to begin construction on the deck that was behind a restaurant in Old Sacramento. And so they're going to completely tear down the deck, rebuild the deck, and then work is supposed to start May 1st, concluding October 31st. And then,
that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Is that including the playground and everything?
No, this is just the deck.
The deck itself.
That was behind River City, a part of the River City Cafe. So they're going to redo.
Closest to the water? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they're going to start that work. And then very soon they'll be releasing a request for interest for possible tenants for that location.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So that was council.
Cool. Thank you for that update. I guess we can go on to our next segment then, where we get to learn more about our new colleague, Alicia.
Yay! Okay,
Yay.
I'm super excited. We've been waiting on you. We've been waiting for you.
How long has it been, Lynette? How long have we been waiting?
In my mind, we've been waiting since the city started. Language access. We've always been a very diverse city.
Right.
And so, eliminating language and cultural barriers is key. And so, in my mind, we've been waiting since the city started, right?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks for the love.
So again, our special guest today is our newest team member, Alicia. To get to know her a little better, we're going to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
You don't have
let's
a
do it.
choice, actually. I just asked that as a formality.
And these are going to be surprise questions.
Well, you can see them, but pretend you don't.
Okay.
How about
Not
that?
looking.
So how long have you been working with the city for now?
Well, I just started this position not even 2 months ago.
Okay, so you're a rookie. Good.
But you said, how long has she been working with the city?
true.
In her previous role, you were working with the city. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so previously I was with a nonprofit called RHI for about 20 years.
Acronyms, we do pie in the face if you don't.
Responsible Hospitality Institute. My bad. Okay. So we actually did a whole assessment of nightlife and the social economy in Sacramento back in, 2024. And it was a big kind of inspiration for why I wanted to move my whole family here, because I saw how much fun stuff there was to do out here, places to go to eat, to, events, music.
Right.
I think, it was really incredible. So it made me want to be part of this community for sure. So
Cool. Yeah. And give us some of your hobbies and interests that you like to do in your off time.
So my friends know that I'm really nerdy. So I am all into all things fantasy and sci-fi, Comic-Con, which I just missed, unfortunately. I know Sac just had one. Definitely going to go next year.
You got to San Diego Comic-Con?
I have twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
Renaissance fairs. So this Saturday, in addition to being our big city-wide Earth Day cleanup, is also in the Star Trek universe, it's known as First Contact Day. So this is when humans and Vulcans first met each other on planet Earth. And so our local bookstore in Elk Grove is going to be celebrating. So I plan to go to that.
Okay.
With my fellow nerdy folks.
Okay.
I was just looking at your face.
I'm like,
she's like, what? What? Who?
I gotta work on my face, you guys. Like, I need to just be on Spotify and not on YouTube, because I'm like, I gotta work on it.
I can't say anything because I'm the same way with my face. Like, anyway.
For real? Yep.
If Danielle was here, Danielle would be like, yeah, because that's right up her alley too.
Totally.
Well, I used to watch Star Trek and stuff like that. Me and my mom.
My dad was
Nice.
was a Trekkie.
Oh yeah, my dad was too. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah. That's still, for me, that's like the equity thing. When it looks like Star Trek, we know we did our job right. When there's people of color everywhere.
Yeah, and different like head shapes and multiple eyeballs.
Yeah,
and,
that too.
Like an aspire,
Work on my face.
All eyeballs matter.
Yeah, exactly.
All eyeballs and head shapes.
All
Head shapes matter. All head shapes matter.
Okay, Pepsi or Coke?
Oh, neither.
Neither.
I don't drink soda.
Okay, so what is your favorite beverage?
I drink coconut water.
Coconut water. Oh, very tropical. Okay.
Yeah.
From the coconut itself, or you any?
I mean, if you're in a place where you can chop it down from the tree, sure. But otherwise, I like just in the can.
Okay. And one more question. Jessica, would you like to choose? Pick
Favorite food?
Favorite food. Oh shoot, I gotta pick just one. I love quesadilla tacos.
Oh, good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's really a good one.
And do you have go-to places for quesadilla or any other food that you like to so far?
Not yet. So I'm super new as a resident. So
Okay.
I'm still looking for my go-to taqueria and fuzz spot in Sacramento.
Okay.
So would love some recommendations on that.
Stockton
Fuzz,
Boulevard.
Stockton Boulevard.
Yep. What's the one I can't? Faviette, I think.
There's a Mexican restaurant. My favorite. It's Taqueria Los Compañeros.
Compañeros.
It's on.
Where is it?
It's on Fair Oaks. Oh my gosh, Fair Oaks and Monroe.
Oh yeah,
check it out.
I know where that is.
Oh my God!
Across
I mean,
from
it's
Loman's or
yes.
Yeah. Oops.
It's like on a whole nother level of Mexican. It is just by far my favorite. The tortillas are homemade. I don't know how they cook the stuff so fast.
Love
You
it.
literally order, go to the bathroom, wash your hands, come back. Your food is at the table, piping hot. Like
Okay,
it's
Jess made a face though. So like, so what's your opinion on that?
No. I was just thinking, I thought it was the one on Franklin and 12.
It used to be.
Oh, okay.
Well, Taqueria Espinosa, they have the best little tacos.
Oh, okay.
But this other place, just everything is just phenomenal. I mean, it is so good. And the service is top of the line. It's just really good.
Sold.
Yeah.
I'm going.
And Jessica, would you have any favorite taco places or? that you can refer to, Alicia?
Los Inmortales on Franklin and Fruit Ridge. is
I've
good.
heard that a few times now. So,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm giving her the side eye. Like, I don't even know if I want to take her recommendation. She don't even like anything on her tacos or like, she don't like any of the good stuff or like, so I don't know if we're going to take her recommendation.
That's true.
No, but did
that.
she did put me onto Esperanza.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, yeah,
$4
Las
burritos.
Esperanza.
Man.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with
Has to
that.
be the best. Like a staple, I would say, within the Hispanic community here in Sacramento. So
Nice.
Say it again.
La Esperanza on Franklin, 5044 Franklin Boulevard.
Okay.
Got it.
Shout out.
Shout out.
And then she also likes Taco Bell.
I do.
See, that's why I said you can't. That's why I was giving her the side eye. She was like, that is just disrespectful on all levels.
Different type of taco.
I like Taco Bell too. I stand with you in solidarity.
Thank you.
Oh
Even
my
though I like
gosh. You could at
the
least have Jim
taquerias.
Boys. Like,
Oh, I
you
can't
said,
do Gym Boys, man.
oh, the grease that's all
Yeah,
like
they
in
fry
the
the
bottom.
taco,
Oh my God, it's
they
so
fry
good.
the salad,
With
I'm
it.
good.
I
No,
love
thank
it. The
you.
grease all in the bottom of it.
I've seen it. I haven't tried it yet.
Oh,
And then the
my
shell
Now I
breaks
don't want
apart.
to.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so good.
They are good, like if they're not greasy. I'll give them that. That's a Sacramento.
The grease is the flavor. What are you talking about?
Grease is the
Grease, that's the
flavor.
seasoning.
That's the same.
It's a salad dressing.
Right. It is.
Oh my God.
Because they don't give you salad dressing. They literally give you salad with no salad dressing.
The salad is fried. Just
I
letting
feel like
you
I
know,
need to write
Jim
the
Boys.
president of the, of the company, like, why do you put salad and no dressing? But that's okay.
So, well, enough about tacos. Let's get back to Alicia. Tell us more about what your what are some of the reasons why we need language access at the city?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, 74,000 people, so that's 14% of our city's population, speak English less than very well. So in the language access world, that means limited English proficiency, or LEP. So our top 10 limited English proficiency languages in the city are Spanish, Cantonese, Mandarin, Russian, Vietnamese, Punjabi, Hmong, Dari, Farsi, and Hindi. But there are actually even more languages than that are spoken here. So it's pretty incredible. I mean, it goes to show just the diversity in this community.
That's why I like it.
Yeah.
Right. So tell us more about what I guess you're going to be doing in your day-to-day, or some of the big chunks that you're kind of working on or responsible for.
But even before she gets there, the city had an audit done that looked at where our gaps were with language access. And based off of that audit, it really showed that there were about 16 recommendations. So she's going to be tackling those 16 recommendations. So this really came about from an audit. And shout out to Councilmember Guetta and Councilmember Vang, who have been fearless leaders in really pushing for this position. So this is
Right.
a new position. We never had it before. So thank Council for funding it.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's, I think one of the questions that I've gotten, even just from, friends and family, is why is there a position for this in the city? Why is there, enough need? And, what I try to explain is, navigating the city as, just a resident, as a business owner is hard for people who, grew up speaking English. So just
Right.
imagine how much harder that would be for someone who is still learning English, or English is their second language. So I think there's, a lot of recognition, especially from that audit, that language is a big barrier to being able to figure out, how to, work with the city, how to learn about what the city's, how to do things, how to, open a business in the city. So I think it's just, it's really important to make sure that we're being as, inclusive and equitable as we can be. And a big part of that is providing resources in different languages so people can access that information. I mean, I feel like, most people want to do the right thing, but a lot of them, don't know how, or, they don't know that a rule exists, especially if that was never available in their language or explained to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does the city currently have in place right now for like in terms of language access?
We actually have quite a lot even before I arrived, but I think that a lot of people just didn't really know that this was available. So we can get any city-produced document can be translated into any language for free. People who make a phone call and they need an interpreter, like let's say if you're calling 311, you can be connected to an interpreter within 30 seconds or less. Also in person, so if there's an event, a city produced event, if you put in the request within about 72 hours, we can arrange for a live interpreter to be able to interpret whatever someone is saying at that event.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of resources already. I mean, I don't think a lot of people know that there are more than 200 bilingual certified staff within city government in all the different departments, and they speak 26 different languages. So that's huge. And then we also have our community ambassadors, our award-winning community ambassador program.
Shout out to Jessica.
Shout out, Jess. And yeah, we have 18 of them who speak 21 different languages. So many of them are multilingual, which is also really incredible. We also have a contract with a language service company. So if we need, things that are, like really long documents, very formal applications, technical language, that's the sort of thing that we would go to them for.
So speaking like when it comes to like the technical side, there's like, a lot of people don't really understand the difference between like translation and interpretation, right? Can you give us a little bit more details about the nuances there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the two terms, even for myself, I was using them interchangeably, but they have really different meanings in the language access world. So like for interpretation, we're talking about the spoken word. So in real time, like you're at an event, someone's at the podium speaking, and then you're having someone interpret as they're presenting. And then translation is referring to written documents.
Right. So just the actual literal things.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That reminds me of like, sometimes, when you have families that have kids that speak English and also the home language, but the parents don't. It can create some interesting scenarios where we're talking to kids about their grades, and then they're responsible for telling their parents that they're not doing well in school. Right. And then, when I used to work with young people here in California, Sacramento, and also in Seattle, some of those kids are smart and they try to pull fast ones. And I'm like, how do I know what you're telling your mom? And like, oh yeah, mom, everything's fine. No, yeah, this guy's just here to tell me how good we are, right?
Yeah, that's hilarious. I bet that does happen.
But just imagine like something complex that you're trying to explain to a child.
Right.
To explain to their parents. So we don't want to have to rely on the kids. We want to make sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's not right, Yeah. I mean, especially, can you imagine if you're relying on a kid to put in a 911 call or something? Or, if they're accompanying, a parent or a grandparent to a medical appointment. And I mean, can a 9-year-old really, know all the medical terminology and all the technical language? We have no sense of like how well they're able to really fully translate that. And it's also not right to have to rely on kids. We've got to do better. So I think that's, why I'm glad that this position exists.
Right. Right.
And Google Translate isn't great either. So we don't want to rely on Google Translate.
Man, we don't even know. Like when you use that, you don't even know if it comes out right. I always got to check, is this right?
Yeah, if you translate it back, sometimes it comes out all garbled. I've heard some people say it's only like 30 to 35% accurate. And it's better with certain languages that are more common, like with Spanish, but other languages, it just completely gets wrong, like Vietnamese and stuff, or Hmong. They're like, do not use it, or don't rely on it.
That plus you're just reminding me too, like there's different dialects, right?
Yeah.
Different variations. And
Totally.
I'm pretty sure that Google's not going to be able to pick up this.
Yeah, I mean, like in California, Latin American Spanish is going to be our most common form of Spanish, versus in Spain where it's Castilian Spanish, or, Brazilian versus, Portuguese in Portugal. So when in the language access world, they call it localization. So making sure that you're really capturing that local dialect. Otherwise, certain word choices and even verb tenses might be different too.
I always wonder why in school they taught us Spanish, and we're in California. It's like, what sense does that make?
It is standard because we all use we learned vosotros, for instance, and no one
That's right.
People have laughed at me when I've used that.
They want you to go to Spain. The school wants you to take a trip one day.
I know. I bought in. I did. So I studied abroad there. Yeah.
So did you use vosotros?
I did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they had that lisp in
There's
Spain,
definitely there's a really good lisp there. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting how it's in the language in Spain, but it didn't come across anywhere else.
You can tell I watch a lot of telenovelas, and a lot of the actors, even though they may be portraying things in Mexico, you can tell they're from Spain.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. You've got a good ear then.
Mm-hmm. Well, I watch a lot of those. They're really, really they're really well.
I want to hear more about this on another episode.
Yeah, they're phenomenal. They're very well written, great storylines, great actors. And
does it help with
it.
your Spanish? I would imagine watching another show.
No, because I'm lazy. But I do read the subtitles.
I want to say it does though, because I grew up watching them. Well, so I think they help with Spanish. I think they do help. Watching, TV in another language, it just reinforces it.
Yeah, right.
But,
at least the context, right?
Yeah.
But it's just so fast for me. It's hard for me to keep up.
Yeah.
Especially when they're excited, something happens. But what? I had to rewind it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's subconscious then. You're not even aware.
I think
I
learn a lot about the history of the different Latin American countries watching the shows. So a lot of their background and history, I learn a lot.
So most of them are set in the past then versus in the present day?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But just even how the different countries interact with each other, how they interact with the United States,
Oh, they put that in there too?
Yeah, a lot of the storylines.
Wow. I thought it was just love triangles and
no, particularally when you think
coming back
about
from the
yeah, no.
You could learn your history, Greg. Mm-hmm.
Well, the Filipino shows sometimes, I wanted to have the kids watch this Filipino show on Netflix. I just discovered maybe during COVID there was Tagalog movies, and then one of them was historical. Mm-hmm. And we were watching it, and I didn't watch it at all ahead of time. It was a war movie, and it was so graphic. People were getting blown up. I was like, "Oh my god!"
You exposed your
my
kids
kids
to
were
that?
like, "Oh, what happened?"
My daughter would have been like, "Yeah." She loves gore and people's heads getting bitten off. She's so funny.
Dang.
She would love it.
I had to coax them. It's catch up. Don't worry. They were thing at first. I mean, they were 5th grade by then, 5th and 6th grade, but. Yeah, I scarred him unintentionally. I was trying to be, let's learn about our culture. You're a guy
in the name of language exposure.
Right.
My kid's favorite movie at 2 was Deep Blue Sea with Samuel Jackson and LL Cool J about the sharks.
Oh, yeah.
And the sharks are biting people's heads off. Yeah. And my 2-year-old would be like, she loved, that was her favorite. Deep Blue Sea, Deep Blue Sea.
Really? That was what she wanted to watch?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That and Joyful Noise with Dolly Parton and Queen Latifah. Just
Joyful Noise. I never
you
heard
put
that.
those on, she'll sit in front of the TV all day.
Wow.
No Sesame Street, no traditional stuff for her. No, she
Pixar
bypassed all that.
Straight Deep Blue Sea
No,
with Samuel Jackson.
Disney princesses for her. Okay.
Yeah. And Steve Harvey. Well, that was her second word was Steve. Her dad was like, "Who the hell is Steve?"
Wait, so what would she watch with Steve Harvey?
Was my mom, because my mom was babysitting. My mom watched Steve Harvey.
Oh, okay, so, Family Feud reruns?
Yeah, and so
okay.
she'd be like, Steve! And her dad was like, who the hell is Steve?
No. It's the Steve.
Right? Yeah.
Did you show Gigi the pictures of Jessica as Steve Harvey?
Yes, I did.
What was her reaction?
She laughed. She just thought it was hilarious. And speaking of other things, we went viral, y'all, with our Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
They not like us.
We did a little cool video for Earth Day.
That was
Lynette
super cool.
had all the energy, the Kendrick energy. And what was that jacket you were wearing?
What did it say? I do what I want.
Yo hago lo que quiero, and the front said hija
Madre?
de su madre.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, my jacket's
Daughter
in
of
Spanish.
your mom?
Yeah, it's a brand. But Jessica said it might be a bad word or
It
something.
can be.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna go
It's
elsewhere.
insulting. Yeah, it can. I guess everything depends on how you say it, right?
It's kind of like saying your mom.
Context.
Your
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to my friend Sequoia for getting me the jacket.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, but they said that we got double the number of Earth Day volunteers than last
Yeah.
year.
So
We've
thank
had
you.
almost 10,000 views.
Yeah, it was like 9,900 last I checked. But yeah, thank you for everybody that watched and then signed up to volunteer for Earth Day. Appreciate that.
And thank you to the security guard that got in the video, too.
Yeah, we just saw him in
was
the
awesome.
hallway. She was hella funny.
She's totally game.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you're working on that you want to tell us about?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so right now, because Spanish is the most prominent language in the city, so I'm working on proactively getting some of our most commonly used forms and applications translated. So if you go down to City Hall, down to the first floor, you'll find Spanish versions of the Business Operation Tax Certificate, explaining how to apply, and then the actual application is also in Spanish. We're also planning to roll out a big I Speak program, so you might start seeing that soon. So we're going to work on getting, more posters, brochures, and whatnot, so you can point to your language when you are,
okay.
yeah. So it'll be like I Speak Sacramento. So if
Okay.
you're, say, you need to go and pay your parking ticket or something, and you need an interpreter, we'll also be providing some wallet-sized cards that people can just have on their phone as kind of a screenshot. So it's empowering people to be able to identify and say, hey, I speak Hindi and I need an interpreter, because that service is provided for free at the city.
So before then, before this, everybody would just have to kind of guess what language. Oh
From what
my gosh.
From what I've heard from staff, they said it was kind of a guessing game, especially if they didn't know how to be able to say their language in English. They'd be like, okay, well, do you speak this language? No, do you speak this language? So it was a lot of back and forth. It's not the best way to go about things.
Yeah, not really. Well, I can say bad words in 8 different languages. Maybe put me down there, and if they react to one of the bad words,
Then you know.
I think.
Well, she went down to kind of check out our process, and we have like a language link line phone that you can use to get whatever language you need. And so they would literally pass it under the window to the person.
Oh.
Put it through the window and hand it to them, which, during COVID it would be very unsanitary.
You
and
gotta
probably-
wipe it with a Lysol wipe.
Right. So
Yeah, I mean, they were really nice downstairs. They let me kind of just shadow someone as, a member of the public, because the very first step when you first walk into the downstairs at City Hall is you have to get a number, and fill out this kiosk. But people are getting stuck just at that very first step because the kiosk is only in English and Spanish, and then it prints out a ticket, with instructions for someone. So I filled it out in Spanish, but it's still printed in English. So,
That makes a lot of
again,
sense,
there's a little, there's a disconnect there. And
Right.
then, and
Just
also...
imagine, this is in English. I gotta do it again.
Right.
Just keep printing it out.
it keeps printing out.
And and then also, so it'd be, be nice too if the staff had kind of that heads up of hey, this person filled out this whole form in Spanish or a different language and stuff, just a heads up to, get ready to have an interpreter ready and whatnot. So we're really trying to take a look at all the different, experiences people have with the city. How can we make improvements? But it's not going to happen overnight though. It's taking time to get this stuff figured out, but we're working on it now.
Well, that's cool. They must love you down there.
I don't know. I'm making, causing some waves, let's change this up, Status quo is not working anymore.
Well, that's what we do. We're rule breakers around here. So.
Right.
So, and then we're in the future, the near future, we're also going to have video remote interpretation for American Sign Language. And our team also is working on getting some new interpretation devices. So kind of like what you see in the movies with the UN, with the fancy headset and little earpieces. So, at future events, we're going to be able to have live interpreters. So that's also pretty cool.
Yeah, that
Sounds
is cool.
Yeah, it's happening. It's slowly happening, but
So those
good
are
progress.
You think you'll get these done by the end of the month? What are you
Right.
looking? All of that.
Everything by the end of the month.
By Friday.
all those items, right? No, it's a work in progress, but I think it really goes to show that the city values this, that they're behind this, and also with council, as you mentioned, that they're supportive. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to all the listeners out there, is there anything you want to share with folks out there that are listening right now?
I think as a kind of call to action sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, if you translate for your family or your friends, or interpret rather, what are the things that would be most helpful to have translated in terms of documents? What are the things that you keep coming across, or web pages or whatnot? Or what events would be really helpful to have an interpreter for? So again, I would love to have some of that direction to kind of narrow down and prioritize what to work on next.
So if people have questions, how do they reach you?
Ooh, good question. They can contact me at languageaccess@cityofsacramento.org. So that's the email.
And we'll share that on the description.
Yeah, I know. I'd love to hear feedback and whatnot. And also, that's the other thing, too. We want to create a feedback form. So if, say, maybe we do a translation and we got some of the wording, off, we want to be able to hear from the community and just constantly improve this process,
cool.
how we can be better.
Nice.
Yeah.
So can I ask listeners to make a comment on a reel I'm going to make? I'm going to clip you and then have them comment on some of those things that you asked them.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, listeners, you heard that. Send us some ideas, either by emailing languageaccess@cityofsacramento.org, or just make a comment here and we will forward them to Alicia. We'll print them out and put them on your desk.
No, we're not going to be printing.
No?
We're about to go into Earth Day. We got Earth Day coming up this
Sustainability.
weekend. We're going to be sustainable.
Okay, I'll screenshot the comments and I'll put them in teams for you.
Sounds like a plan. All right.
Earth Day, April 5th.
April
Don't
5th
forget.
is Earth Day. That's right. Shout out to everybody going to be out there taking care of the earth.
We got, 9 parks? 9 different parks?
Yep, one in each district.
Yep.
A lot of places have been full. Thank you to Kendrick Lamar for helping it make it happen.
They not like us.
If you don't know what we're talking about, check out our Instagram and look for the They Not Like Us video.
Yeah.
Alicia, thank you for coming on today. Looking forward to having you come on more.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You might get pulled on last minute, like how I had to get Jessica to come on for us today.
She's awesome.
yeah.
She's a seasoned pro, though.
So with that, is it time for closing?
It is time for closing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for vibing with us. Don't forget to follow us on social media, YouTube and Spotify, and Apple Podcast, right?
That's right. Apple Podcast too. Thank you. Peace.
Bye.